So, a very good evening to all of you. This is Priyadarshan Soni again, Marketing Head for Procare AHT, MacLeod Pharmaceuticals Limited. Today, I will introduce to you a very important session, which is related to transferring your goodwill to your heirs or to your loved ones, whoever you plan to give your responsibility after you are not there. For this is a subject very sensitive because it becomes more sensitive when you're talking about insurance, but it's about all about planning. It's about wealth creation for the future for ourselves. And then yesterday we looked at even retirement planning also. But what will all this wealth be of use once you are not there? So, do you think your all this accumulated wealth or goodwill should pass on in a very systematic manner, in a very desired manner to your beloved heirs or to your own people in a very impartial manner? In that case, there has to be a thought given to writing a will. Yeah, a will is probably a legal statement. I will not take you entirely through the legal aspects of this, but I would like to plant a thought that where there is a will, there is a way, but there has to be a lawyer also, I think. So the point is, let me introduce you to our today's speaker, Mr. P.V. Subramaniam. He is a chartered accountant by qualification, and after his profession, now he is a very active blogger, a video blogger, and also he has written a prescription which is in the form of a book which he has authored, which is called The Wealth Prescription for Doctors: How to Get Rich. And he has addressed more than 6,000 doctors all over India at different forums. And definitely, this lockdown has also given an opportunity for him to address virtually also. So he is a person much in demand for planning things for the family. And I no longer take much time now and pass it on the stage to him. Welcome, sir, and over to you.
Welcome, Priyadarshan. Thanks to MacLeod. Here I am in front of you guys trying to talk to you about one of the toughest topics, that is writing a will, because the first question is, why should we write a will? And let me not talk, let me share my presentation with you, and that's how it goes. Yeah. So we are talking of death and beyond, how will, one second. Yeah. So death and beyond is what we are going to talk about today. And it starts off here. First of all, it's not dealing with spirituality. It's not about whether you will die and how you will die and all that. First of all, you don't have to even worry about death. And I do not know whether, doctors are perhaps the least scared about death. So attending is not going to be injurious to your health. It will actually improve your wealth distribution. And I'm not doing this lecture free. I'm paid by a mutual fund to do this lecture. So that is my little bit of my introduction. I'll introduce myself a little better. But yeah, I've written this book called, like Priyadarshan said, Wealth Prescription for Doctors, and a book on goal setting and retirement planning. I run a blog and a YouTube channel, and yeah. My promise to you, like I said, is I will try to be as jargon free as possible. But remember, this is a legal thing which we are doing. So what we do is we make smart people richer. I've egged on many people to write their wills, and I hope to be a game changer, saying, okay, if out of 100 or 150 people who are attending today, even if 100 people or 20 people or 30 people can write their will, that will be great. And procrastination is something we love to do. I'm sure we will find watching in IPL far more interesting than writing our will. That's how human nature is, right? You're a doctor, so you should know this. So hopefully I will try to push you out of that comfort zone and make some of you write a will. So if we look at the purpose of the session, reducing the uncertainties associated with death. whom should you approach for this? Largely, it's a question of मुझे will तो लिखना है, but whom should we approach? And what is the specific knowledge that you're going to look for in the professional who will do this for you? So, first of all, there is confusion about distribution of assets. You know, a lot of people feel that after I die, my wife will get it, right? Yes, of course, your wife will get it, provided you had. But what if you had a slightly more complicated relationship? What if you had a wife, you had a divorce and you married again? Then what happens? Who is the wife? Is it the first wife or is it the second wife? There is confusion. What happens if your wife had died and you married again? Again, there could be confusion, right? So clarity of what you want to do can be achieved only when you write it down. नहीं तो सब आपके सर में है. You know, there's no point in having with in your head. Like, you know, like they say, खोपड़ी में है वो, it's not enough. खोपड़ी, it has to come to the chopdi, right? So from the खोपड़ी, it has to come to the chopdi. So channelizing assets only to your loved ones. You don't want wrong people touching your assets. Dying without an will is called an intestate death, and that causes a lot of problems. There would, of course, be disputes or litigation. Unforeseen eventualities largely means death, but it could also mean being in coma. It could also mean somebody with, say, dementia is unable to apply his mind, or somebody with Parkinson's is unable to sign. All these are disabilities which cause the need for, oh my God, I wish I had written the will earlier, kind of a thing. And then what are the taxation, wealth planning, and charity options which are there? So what is unique about doctors? First of all, doctors have a risk of being sued for whatever reason. So therefore, they tend to hold assets in other names, or at least it is advisable. At least when I meet doctors, I tell them, let the assets be better spread between husband and wife. But then there is always the fear of divorce also, right? So you don't want to do that. So you have to be very careful. Doctors have this unique problem that they could be sued for amounts far greater than the revenue that they have and the wealth that they have. And the damages can be really cruel. Our courts are pretty severe on doctors, right? Divorce can hurt you. So therefore, you have to have the fine balance between how much money you want to keep in your wife's name and how much money you want to keep in your name, or how sure you can be that even in case of a divorce, your assets get protected. So a lot of people who have a joint practice with their spouse, or joint practice with their sibling, or with their children, right? All these happen. As you get older, your children join you, then the documentation required for doing all that. Then again, doctors would say, "Arey yaar, ye sab chodo, abhi karne ka nahi hai, it's too boring, ye sab kaun karega?" And then many doctors don't think of their profession as a business. See, what we are doing as doctors is we are doing a profession, yes, but a lot of characteristics of this, of a business, are also there in this profession. So, and doctors have another unique thing saying, "Oh, main to retire hone wala hi nahi hu." So when you don't even think of retirement, how will you think of death? So that is the other thing. Again, many doctors let their profession or their practice also die because there is no second in command. Now, if you take a chartered accountant or a lawyer, they will have junior partners and they will grow their practice, right? But doctors normally don't do that. They can, but some of them do, but that is quite a rarity, especially for doctors who are very specialized. They don't really get into partnership with others. They may join a hospital, they may take up a job, but joint practice with somebody else is pretty rare. So succession plan should start at 50, not at 80, right? You can't wait till the end to do your succession planning. Succession planning really helps you relax because you know that after you, somebody is going to take care of your assets. Your wife and children are going to be taken care of, etc. So therefore, you develop a second in command and say, okay, I will, after my death, all the practice will belong to you. If your children are not going to be in practice, or if you're a cardiologist and your children are in, say, your son is a dentist, there's no way how the cardiology practice is going to end. So you need to plan your succession. You can start planning your succession very early. Yes, initially your income will dip because when you take on a junior partner, some of your revenue will have to be shared. But having said that, later on it will increase because he or she will also start having their own practice here. So that will be good for both of you, and good for the junior also, and good for the patient also, because the patient knows that in case you're not there for whatever reasons, it also means you can go on vacation, your partner can go on vacation. All these things help you relax. Typical doctor's reaction, and believe me, I have addressed more doctors than many other people that you can think of. There are 5 companies with whom I've done this work. So doctors' immediate reaction, हाँ हमको ये मालूम है, and then doctors will live long. Then they say, हाँ मेरा तो property ना joint है मेरी wife के साथ. Sir, even for a joint property, you have to still make a will. Then again, this thing that my parents did not write a will, nothing happened. My asset has already got transferred from my father to my mother. My father died, and the society just transferred the flat to my mother. So my parents did not have a will, and they did not have a problem. एंड हाँ मेरे को ये करना है, बट आई डोंट नो whom to ask. कि विल बनाना ठीक है, लेकिन किसके पास जाऊं, कैसे विल बनाऊं, मुझे नहीं पता, राइट? दिस आर द टिपिकल रिएक्शंस. एंड यूजुअल पब्लिक रिएक्शन इज आल्सो दैट मेरा प्रॉपर्टी जॉइंट है, इसमें कुछ नहीं होगा, गलत है. आई कैन गिव माय हाफ ऑफ द प्रॉपर्टी टू माय डॉटर, आई कैन गिव इट टू माय सिस्टर, आई कैन गिव इट टू माय फ्रेंड. It is not automatic that half my property will go to my wife. I have to write it down saying half my property will belong to my wife. I have to make it in the will. So I have made a will. My wife has also made a will. So her property will come to me and my property will come to her. And in case both of us die, we have something called a joint will. So it will go to my daughter. So those things have to be written down. The world doesn't know that I have only one wife, that the world doesn't know that I have only one daughter. I have to write down saying I married her on this date. This is my date of birth. This is her date of birth, this is my PAN number. That has to be given as a declaration कि मेरी एक ही बेटी है. Because tomorrow the court will ask her, how do we know that you have only one daughter? Show us proof. That's very difficult, right? So that is why you need a will. Writing down and telling your spouse is not enough, because you will have to, the property will never get transferred with just a handwritten will. It will have to be a proper will made and at least notarized, if not registered. एंड दी अदर एक्सक्यूजेस, अरे मेरे पास तो 2 करोड़ है, इसमें विल की क्या जरूरत है, मेरे पास तो 50 लाख है, इसमें विल की क्या जरूरत है. अगर आपके पास प्रॉपर्टी है तो यू नीड अ विल, देयर इज एब्सोल्युटली नो डाउट. खाली नॉमिनेशन से काम नहीं चलेगा, यू नीड अ विल. वी विल सी व्हाट इज अ नॉमिनेशन आल्सो, बट या. एंड अच्छा, बाद में मैंने और कुछ खरीदा तो उसको क्या होगा, उसका कोडिसिल बन सकता है. वी विल सी व्हाट इज अ कोडिसिल. या तो उसके लिए आपको नया विल बनाना पड़ेगा. और यू कैन से ऑल माय फ्यूचर एसेट्स, दैट आल्सो यू कैन से, राइट? So what all can you do? You can first of all give away your assets through nomination. So your mutual fund, bank deposits, insurance, shares, demat account, all go through nomination, and that's enough. But you can start writing your will from your early stages of earning, because as a doctor, you buy real estate very quickly. So the minute you buy a real estate, you should have a will, because real estate does not move without having a will. Then it is also proper evidence of your assets and liabilities, something which your family may not know कि भाई ये भी पड़ा था, इधर ये था, you know, whether it is mutual funds or other things, your family will know. You will also sit down and write down everything, right? So your will include everything. So therefore, one place where all the assets are visible will be your will. And you will have the proper discipline and timeliness of making the will, signing it, keeping it in one place and all that, right? So when should you write a will? This is a question which many people ask, and the answer is, of course, obviously before you die, but more importantly, any other illness which stops you from writing a will. If you write a will during dementia, then somebody will have to prove that when you were writing that will, you were properly, you did not have dementia when you were writing. So you were in your proper senses. So the doctor will have to give a certificate. They are saying जब ये bill लिखा गया तो he was perfectly all right. So all that is a little problematic. So write it when you're perfectly all right. So if you're 50, it's a good age to write a will. But the correct answer of when to write a will is when you buy real estate. Even if you make an advance for a real estate, you should make a will, right? Whether it is single, joint, doesn't matter. As soon as you enter into an agreement, you should write a will. I'm sure many doctors, if you're from Bombay, you remember the Aruna Shanbag case. In Aruna Shanbag case, the court asked, आप बोल रहे हो उसको euthanasia देना है, उसने लिखा है क्या? So today, now in India, you can even create a living will saying, in case I'm not well, this is the line of medical action that should be taken. We still do not know whether it is legal, but there is no harm in leaving it in writing. Many people do have a written down living will. It's not valid in India, or rather it has not been tested in India. But लिख के रखने में कोई हर्ज नहीं है, because 10-15 years later, if that will has to, if that document has to be used, maybe it will be valid. So better to create a living will. Now let me just give a declaration. I have written my will, but I don't have a living will. So in case I am in coma, my wife will have to go by what she thinks is right. I have not said anything in writing. That is just clarifying to you. So what should a professional who does this actually have? He should understand everything. He should understand your community, your caste, your religion, because on all this, the wording of the will depend, right? Laws of inheritance for your community, right? Basic English writing skills, it can be written in any language, but you have to give a declaration that you have understood. So if you are a person who does not understand, suppose you have a parent who does not understand English, then there is to be a declaration saying ये मुझे समझाया गया है, जो यहाँ पे लिखा है और फिर मैं sign कर रही हूँ. Because tomorrow somebody can dispute saying she didn't even know what she was signing or he didn't even know what he was signing. So in case you're getting your parents or somebody to write a will and that person does not know English, please be careful about that. You have to understand some of the legal terms which you are writing. Everything you may not understand, but at least broadly you should be able to understand what you're writing, right? Yeah. So we will see what is a nomination. So nomination ka dictionary thing is this: someone is proposed for office. I nominate so and so to be a member of the society. I propose so and so to be the chairman, right? That is what is nomination. But largely, it is the person designated to act in place of another in a limited way, which means if my wife is the nominee for my daughter's property, till my daughter becomes a major, my wife can hold that property and use it only for her benefit. So if there is a property in which rent is accrued, then my wife has to collect that rent and deposit in my daughter's account. That is what she's supposed to do because she's the nominee. So a nominee is a person who holds it on behalf of the actual legal heir. So if my wife is my nominee and she's the same person I've named in the will, then the nominee and the person who is going to inherit remains the same. But if I die leaving a minor child and my wife is the nominee on behalf of my children, she has to hold it as a trustee. So that is the job of a nominee. So therefore, when there is a will and there is a nomination and there is conflict, it is the will which prevails, not the nomination. The nominee is just holding it as a legal heir till the person who owns it can take charge of it. So, right. So he just holds the bare legal title for the benefit of the others and receives and distributes it for the others' benefit. That is the nominee, right? There are, of course, benefits of appointing a nominee. That is, in case something happens to the first holder, then the assets will go to the nominee. So even in case of mutual funds, suppose you hold mutual funds with your wife, okay? It's your money, you're the husband, it's your money, so you're the first holder, your wife is the second holder, it is either or survivor. I would still insist that you put a nominee because in case something happens to husband and wife together, then the money will go to the nominee. If the husband and wife both die and there is no nomination, then the children will find it very difficult to get their property. So don't say I don't need to nominate because it is held jointly. That is not right. Even if it is held jointly, better to have a nominee. A nominee can be changed any number of times. So suppose you have made your daughter the nominee, then you want to make your granddaughter the nominee, the changes are possible. Or you want to make your son the nominee and not your daughter, that change is possible. So please, whenever you invest, whether it is a mutual fund, whether it is a bank deposit, whether it's an insurance, please make sure that you have a nominee. One more thing which happens is when you are young and you have just started your life, say you're a 22-year-old doctor and you started your life and you took a job, you have your provident fund. In your provident fund, you made your mother the nominee. Fairly obvious that you were not married, so you made your mother the nominee. 10 years later, you were married and now you have a wife and your mother has died. Then it is very important that you change the nominee. And even if your mother has not died, you have to change the nominee and make sure that in your PPF, in your PF, in your wherever you are with your wife, you have to make sure that you change the nominee from your mother to your wife. That is necessary. And in case of your mother's death, it is absolutely necessary, right? So where all can you make a nomination? In land, you can make nomination. In a joint family, You can be the beneficial owner, house property, flats, cooperative society, partnership firm, holder of a demat account. Everywhere you can make a nominee. Now we will see what is a will. Yeah, so will is, it means a legal declaration. It is a piece of paper. It's a legal declaration of the intention of the testator, that is the person writing the will and who owns the property, which he desires to be carried into effect after his death. So after my death, what will happen is written in the will. So it has two basic characteristics. It is intended to come into effect only after my death. It cannot come into effect before my death, right? It is revocable. I can change my will. I can change my will anytime I want. I can change my will tomorrow morning by creating a new will, because every will starts by saying, this is my last, I revoke all my previously written will. So if it is my second will, I'm revoking my first will. If it is my 20th will, I'm revoking all my 19 wills, right? So I start by saying I revoke all my previous wills. So my latest will is the most important will, right? So remember, whatever you have written in your will, nothing matters, nothing will come into effect till you are alive. After you die, this document comes into force, not before that. Yeah, there's a poll question. Will you initiate the proceedings for writing your will, and when will you do it? And yeah, the third option can be, अरे डराओ मत यार, हमको तो करना नहीं है. Karan? Yeah, so 40% of the people said don't mujhe darao mat. I can also tell you, buying my book will not help you writing the will, because writing the will is not something which I've covered in my book. So that was more for a joke, but I hope you can hear me. Karan, can you hear me? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah, so conditional or contingent will, you can also say in your will, I will give you these assets only provided you take care of so and so, only if you buy off something, all those things can be contingent or conditional will. Joint will, when both of you own a property, you with your partner or you with your wife, can be a joint will. Mutual will is my property goes to you and your property comes to me, that's a mutual will. And concurrent will and duplicate will. Basically, we will get into, and these are some of the words which you should know. Who is the administrator? Normally, you will have to appoint one person who will take charge of the whole thing. It could be the person named in the will as a beneficiary also. And attestation. Okay, there are three things which you can do. One is you have to have a written will. Second, it has to be notarized. And third, it has to be registered. When you notarize, it's not as enough. Sometimes you need to register it also, but in 99% of the cases where you're not too much worried about children fighting, etc., I think just a notarization should be enough. Beneficial interest, if your children are going to be getting portion of the will, they are the people who are said to have the beneficial interest. You're basically bequeathing a legacy. Whatever you have, you're giving to your children. You have to first of all own it, right? You cannot give away something like a property in which you're staying on rent. That can't be given away. You have to own the property. Codicil is something which you make if you want to attach to the will. Will के साथ कुछ और आपको attach करना है and you don't want to make a new will, you can create a codicil. Executor, you could appoint an executor, could be your chartered accountant, could be a lawyer who will help the family in doing the settlement. You normally need to do that if you have 3-4 properties and all those things. If you have one property which is going to your wife, you may not need so much of an executor. Your beneficiaries are the people whom you have named in the will. Life interest, you can say, this house will belong to my children after my wife's death. Until my wife is alive, she has to live in this house. And I have another house, the rent from that will belong to my wife till she's alive. And after that, that property will belong to my son or daughter. So your wife will have a life interest in that. She has a life, she will have interest in that property. Personal effect, your jewelry which you wear, all that would be included. Probate is something, what happens is sometimes when you, see, this is very particular, please pay attention. Suppose you have a house and where you have a nomination and you have a will. What happens is the will is good, will is attested, but the new buyer or the buyer's banker may insist that iska aap probate leke aao. Let the court say that this is valid. Then you have to go and get a probate. Now to get a probate, it is better to have a notarized or a registered will. Registered will, it is very useful. And notarization helps you in getting the probate a little faster. Of course, it's only for real estate that you really need a will, because other things will pass by nomination. Succession certificate is something which in some states, the government gives something called a succession certificate. With that, some states allow you to transfer the property, but not all states. I know Tamil Nadu allows you with a succession certificate, right? You could appoint a trustee if your children are minor and you think that if in case death happens to you before they attain majority, you could appoint somebody as a trustee. Now understand which is the act which is applicable to you. This is where you need a lawyer, because if you're a Hindu, it would be under the Hindu Succession Act. Muslim Shariat law applicable to you, Shariat Application Act, or the Indian Succession Act for people who are neither Hindus or Muslims or who have got married under the special act. Then you come under the Indian Succession Act. Please remember, all these legal things are very, very necessary. So when you go to a lawyer, normally the lawyer, if a lawyer is practicing in this area, he will know these things, right? So find out whether your lawyer deals with your community also. If you're a Muslim and the doctor and the lawyer does not deal with Muslims, or he has no experience, he may have a problem. So who can make a will? Literally anybody can make a will. You have to be above 18. And in my case, what I'm saying is, in case you have real estate, you must make a will. So it could be a 30-year-old doctor who has just bought his clinic or just paid an advance for a clinic. Please go and make a will. Till you don't buy a property, don't worry, but otherwise, please make a will. Obviously, there should be sound mind, which is where problems like dementia or any of the Alzheimer's, any of those cases, people could dispute the will and say his mind was not sound. That is the scary part. Married women, foreigners, convict, deaf or dumb or blind person can all make a will. It should not be a problem. Insane person can also make a will during periods of sanity. Artificial purposes are not capable. So a company cannot make a will because the company is not expected to die. But they can still benefit under a will. An association of persons or a partnership firm can benefit under a will, but cannot make a will. Person under intoxication or suffering certain illness or any other cause, it does not know. Somebody put a gun on your head and you made a will. That will not be valid, right? Person should have the ability to make a testamentary capacity, should be able to do that, sound disposing mind, knowledge of the content. Person who is writing should understand. Please remember, person who is writing should understand. The person who is witnessing need not read, need not understand. He is only witnessing. He is only saying, I saw Subramaniam sign here. He is not saying, I've read and understood what is written in the will. Exactly same for you as a doctor. Because as a doctor, if your client calls you and says, please sign the will, you're just signing there and you're saying he's of sound mind and he's capable of making this will, and you're witnessing. You are not witnessing the content. please write there, I am not witness the content, I do not know the content, I'm only signing saying he is of sound mind and he has signed in my presence. Because if you don't say this, you don't want the, and if there's a problem tomorrow, you will be pulled to court. And then the court, you can say, मैंने तो लिखा था कि I have not read the will, I'm just signing here. And जब इसने sign किया, ये मेरा patient है, मैं इसको 20 साल से जानता हूँ, his mind was sound. That is all I am certifying. I am not saying उसने will में जो किया है वो सही है गलत है. He has given his money to his girlfriend. He has not given to his wife. You are not getting into any of that stuff. You are just saying he has done this. There should be no undue influence, no fraud, no coercion. कोई सर पे बंदूक रखे नहीं बोल रहा कि अभी will लिखो. It has to be a voluntary act. So what can you transfer? All movable, transferable properties, right? Movable, immovable, everything can be, but movable don't bother too much because it can keep changing. Like if you have jewelry, you don't have to write all the jewelry. You don't have to put photographs of the jewelry. You don't have to do all that. So jewelry will change form. So you say all the jewelry should go to my daughter, or it should go to my daughter and my daughter-in-law, half, whatever jewelry you want to give. In case of jewelry, if you want to be very specific, you can say, I have these 4 pieces of jewelry. This is chain, this is so many grams, this I want to give to my son, this I want to give to my daughter, this I want to give to my brother. You can do all that, right? You're the owner of the property and you cannot transfer other person's property. So if you're a joint property, you can do only for your portion. If you're a 50% owner, you can do only for your portion. You cannot do for your partner's portion. What cannot be transferred cannot be bequeathed. So if it's a pagadi property, you cannot. If it's a disputed property, you cannot, right? Okay. So future property, कल मेरे को ये asset मिलने वाला है, that can't be bequeathed. Leasehold cannot be bequeathed. Yeah, annuity. Suppose you are a singer and you are getting royalties for the rest of your life, plus for further periods, then that can be, suppose you have got an LIC pension, that can be bequeathed, right? All your belongings, books, manuscript, business, car, chattel, practice, your practice can be given to your son, okay, to your daughter, to your wife, to anybody, right? Effects, estate, land, tenements, money, furniture, painting, linen, ornaments, fixtures, household goods, income, investments, jewelry, right? All this interest in partnership firms, all of this can be bequeathed. Will must normally be in writing, but even if you have orally said, in case of Muslims, that they can declare an oral will. That's what I said. Your lawyer should understand that, that community and all that is very important. There is no particular form of the will, but if you go to Google and search, you will get enough forms which you can use. It's not necessary that you do it in a stamp paper, but if you're getting it notarized, it's better to put it on a stamp paper. Maybe a 500 rupees stamp paper should be sufficient. Typing is not essential, but it is desirable because if it is handwritten, then some words may not be very clear. So in case you have a handwritten will and a typed will, you can just attach the typed will and the handwritten will and keep them together. Because you can say, because a handwritten will is very good because it means you have applied your mind. आपने सोच समझ के लिखा है. Typing तो कोई भी करा सकता है, आपसे sign ले सकता है. So a handwritten will is very useful. But a typed will is better because it will be more clear. What all it should have? It should definitely have the name, address, and the fact that you're making it voluntarily. It's not, you're not being compelled to make it. You have a sound disposing mind. So which means on the day you make a will, there should be a doctor's certificate saying, I know him and he's got a sound mind and he's capable of, his mind and body are both sound enough for him to make a will today. That certificate has to be attached to the will. It is very useful, right? Necessity or urgency, if any, for execution of the will. So you can always write, say, I've been identified with some illness and before I die and for the convenience of my family, I wish to do this, make this will. That kind of a reasons can be given. Enumeration of your relatives. You can say, I have my wife whom I married on this date. This is her PAN number, and all those things can be written so that they are identified properly. Your children's name, their PAN number, address, and their Aadhaar number, passport number, something to identify properly. Don't just say my wife Asha. You say my wife Asha Patel, whom I married, and now she's Asha Mendle, right? You identify properly. Don't just write the name as Asha or Shubha or something like that, right? Details of procedure making the bequest. You say I have this property. You can also say I paid so much money for my son's education, which was about 20 lakhs, and therefore I'm giving him 20 lakhs less, and I'm giving more money to my other daughter and other children. Those things also you can mention properly, so that tomorrow your children understand why somebody was given more or somebody was given less. It also happens that, sometimes when you're alive, your children want to buy a house, and you give them some money to buy the house. So you say, I have 3 crores, but I have also given 20 lakhs to my eldest son for buying a house. So out of this 3 crores, I'm giving him 20 lakhs less, and the remaining money I'm transferring, or I'm giving 1 crore to both of you, and another 20 lakhs I'm keeping, and say anything. Clarify कीजिए, जितना हो सकेगा आप clarify करोगे तो उतना अच्छा है, because nobody will then say, हाँ ये application of mind has not happened. He has just blindly signed. That won't happen. So therefore, it is better to put it in writing what all you think. It is also possible that sometimes, in case you're afraid that it may be challenged, you can even make a video and keep a video recording. Normally, I insist on that when the net worth is 50, 60 crores, 100 crores, and then there is some chance of it being disputed, we make a video. In fact, we make it like a big function and an occasion when the person is sitting and writing the will, the whole thing is being videographed. The grandchildren are playing with him, everybody. So, tomorrow nobody can say that he was not normal, he couldn't do it. So everything is video recorded and preserved for posterity. Clear and unambiguous language. Don't write very complicated language. Write as simple as possible. In case there are some words which you are not sure, you can put it in Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati. There is nothing which says the will has to be in English. It can be in Hindi, it can be in Marathi, not a problem. Avoid conflicts with the law. Very simple. If you have nominated your son for a demat account or for some mutual fund, make sure he is mentioned in the will. Don't nominate your son and give the will in the will, give it to your wife or your daughter. It will create confusion, legal action and all will have to happen. So don't conflict with your nomination, right? Appoint an executor if there is a complicated property. If it is just some mutual funds and one real estate, executor is not so important. But if you have a lot of assets, you have a clinic, you have 2 clinics, you have 2 properties, then it's better to have an executor. Executor could be your son, daughter, that's also fine, your wife, anybody could be an executor. Keep a schedule of the property, attestation of will by 2 witnesses. Now, if one of these witnesses is a chartered accountant or a lawyer himself, and one of the witnesses is a doctor, it means both of them have seen you write and you have applied your mind. So that way it helps. But anybody can be a witness, anybody who can make a will or anybody whose capacity to contract can be. But it is better that the person named in it. So if my wife and my daughter are named in it, it is better to avoid them as a witness, because then somebody comes to dispute, they will dispute saying it, oh, fake hai, those kind of things. Always better. Mine was done by 2 friends of mine. I had a doctor's certificate attached to it. So that is how I did my will. It should be very clearly defined. A will not expressive of any definitive intention will be just void for uncertainty. If it is not clear, if the court cannot understand what you have written, then the will no longer be valid. So what are the precautions that you will take in making the will? You will make a list of your properties. You will make sure that all the loans are repaid. You cannot have a property with a loan outstanding. Then you can make it, but the person who's getting it will have to repay the loan, right? What you wish to distribute should be very clear, saying, ये सब मेरा property है, ये सब मैं distribute करना चाहता हूँ. I want to give it to my wife. I want to give it to my sister. And see, it's also important, and this a lawyer will not ask you. When you go to a lawyer and you say, I have a wife and I have a daughter, he will assume that everything has to go to the wife and daughter. But it is your job to sit with your chartered accountant or with your financial planner and decide whether you want to give something to your parents, whether they need it, or whether you have a brother or a sister who needs it. All that clarification has to happen. So do that also. Make a realistic appraisal of the net assets, net estate which are available. If there is value, then you put a value to it, or you're just going to say this property or that property, then again, it's, yeah. So advisable to draft it in the language best understood by the testator. So if a person who is drafting it doesn't understand English, you will have to give a declaration that everything has been explained. But that person can make it in their mother tongue also. That's not an issue. This is not a problem for this audience, but if you're making it for your parents, be careful about giving a declaration that everything has been explained to them properly and they've understood. That also they have to sign. And in case the person is illiterate, again, language you should be careful. In case the person is illiterate, it is much better that some of this you read it out and that person records it in a video and you keep a video, especially if you think it is going to be disputed. Normally people say, oh, my children will not fight, etc. But we have seen, right, the richest people in the country have gone, Birlas have gone to court, Ambanis have gone to court, right? So the 50,000 crores has been disputed, 5,000 crores has been disputed. So don't assume that children will not fight and all that. You make an assumption that it will be challenged and uske liye tayari rakho. Simple language, abbreviations, if you're using, LP can be lower parallel, it can be something else. So please, if you use abbreviations, explain what it means. It is advisable to use a single copy. Never make 2-3 copies and create confusion. Just make one copy and make photocopies of that. Don't avoid, that is just to avoid confusion. The testator, you should be able to understand what you have signed. If your wife is signing, she should be able to understand what she is signing. The option of a registered will to be known to the testator, so you can get your will registered. You have to just go to the court and sign. It's not a problem at all. In case you think there could be some confusion, in case you have one son in Australia, one son in US, and one daughter in India, you are better off maybe even registering the will, because tomorrow copies may have to be made and sent to those countries and all those things. In case of, and especially if you have foreign assets, then you may have to include a foreign will. So, if you don't have foreign assets, don't bother. But if you have foreign assets, you have to find out the legal position in that country while making a will. The estate duty which is there. US, for example, has estate duty. India does not have estate duty, right? And one doctor and one chartered accountant as a witness also helps. Obviously, you will have to sign the will. If you don't sign the will, it is not valid at all. Placing of signature of the testator, attested. We have already spoken about attestation. Acknowledgement of the will by the witnesses. Attester need not, I'm repeating this, attester need not know the will. He need not know the content. He is just signing, saying मैंने इसको sign करते हुए देखा है. सुब्रा ने यहाँ sign किया. सुब्रा ने अंदर क्या लिखा है मुझे नहीं पता. He can say that I have not read the will. I do not know who gets what part of the assets, what are the total assets. I do not know this. I am just attesting the signature. वो आप लिख दोगे तो कल कोर्ट में आपको प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा. अगर कुछ डिस्प्यूट होता है तो भी, right? Registration is voluntary. If you are sure that this is the last will, you're 70 years of age or 75 years of age, and you don't think that it will be revised, I would suggest you get it registered. Otherwise, you can always have it just getting it notarized is good enough. There is no provision in the Income Tax Act about submitting to the department saying that a person has died. इसका कोई form नहीं आता है. So income tax liability will be to the date of death. So if I die today, then my income for 14 days of April will be subject to tax. Please remember, my wife will not be able to file my income tax after my death, because my ARN, my Aadhaar number and PAN number will get cancelled, because my Aadhaar number would be there in my death certificate. So she will have to file as a nominee for my assets and file the return. She cannot e-file my return by putting my e-signature. My signature will no longer be valid because my signature is also tagged to my Aadhaar number. My Aadhaar number would be invalid because my death certificate would have my Aadhaar number. Please understand all this. Today an Aadhaar number is necessary for getting the death certificate. I'll take questions.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir, for deliberating and bringing forth a very important aspect of passing on the hair and responsibilities and whatever goodwill that you've created. I think your presentation opened up a lot of aspects which probably we would not have thought of. And, it not only makes us more aware, but makes us more cautious also, and how serious we should be in writing it. Before we jump on to the questions from the audiences, I have some few things to clear. Probably it might clear some questions also. Uh, Suppose whenever we buy some mutual funds or we buy some property, and whenever we make legal documents, suppose I have bought some 10 mutual funds and 3 properties. During every time, I have nominated someone. And even during insurance, also, I have made some nominations. So the point is, in each place, suppose I have a big family of wife, 2 sons, 1 daughter, and then when they're married, their family also. And suppose they are the only people who will inherit one's goodwill. Then in that case, uh, will what you saying? Will this all nominations which are different? Can it all be bypassed through a single will?
Yes. If there is a conflict, suppose you have bought one mutual fund and you have made your daughter the nominee, but
Right.
in your will, you write that your wife should get it, then your wife will get it.
Okay.
The
Okay.
nominee will
So,
not get
so
it.
so suppose 20 years back, 30 years back, I would have taken something, nominated whoever at that time. And but today, when I think I have to make my last will, I can change it by a single will. That is what.
Yes, yes, yes. But
Hmm.
if the mutual fund doesn't know, so suppose I have bought a mutual fund, I
Right.
have made my sister the nominee,
Right.
and in my will, I have given it to my wife.
Right.
If my sister goes to the mutual fund, gives my death certificate, she'll be able to collect it. Unless my wife goes and tells the mutual fund कि ऐसा एक है जिसमें मैं मेरा will है तो मुझे मिलना चाहिए. Because mutual fund को पता नहीं चलेगा. Copy of your will is not
Hmm.
available with the mutual fund. So somebody who is in the nominee, somebody जिसका नाम will में लिखा है, they will have to go to XYZ mutual fund and say this mutual fund should belong to me. But before that, if my sister has collected my death certificate, she could have collected the money. So that risk is there.
Okay. So in that case, is there any provision given by these companies who are providing mutual funds that they will ask and wait for a will to come up for a few particular time, and then they
How
will
will they know? They won't even know the person has died.
okay, they will
People
not.
go and claim after 10 years. तो बोलता है डेथ सर्टिफिकेट दो, पता चलता है कि 2010 में मर गया और 2021 में पैसा क्लेम हो रहा है. फैमिली को ही मालूम नहीं था. These things happen. So best is to keep electronic, and now you get that NSDL certificate, right?
Okay.
Every quarter you get NSDL में कि ये आपका इतना म्यूचुअल फंड है, ये है, वो है. So जहाँ तक हो सके, as your age increases, see now you are young, so that is different. But by the time you're 70 or 55, 60 also, you can simplify. इतना 15 म्यूचुअल फंड मत रखो, make it 5. और राइट डाउन इन वन प्लेस कि ये मैंने इसके लिए रखा है, ये मेरी बहन को देना है, ये मेरे भाई को देना है, ये मेरा भाई पैसा नहीं कमाता है, so some money I want him to get. Or give your son one property and say, as long as my brother is alive, rent income from that should go to my brother. All these conditions also you can say, I have this house costs 2 crores, this will belong to my son. But as long as my younger brother is there, either my son should pay him a rent or my son should collect rent and give it to my brother. ये सब आप कर सकते हो.
Right. Right. One more question is that in case of absence of a will,
हाँ.
is there any sequence in which the government acts in passing on the goodwill?
Yeah, it depends. It could be the Hindu Succession Act or the Shariat law or the Indian Succession Act. One of them, they will see that and उसके हिसाब से होगा. या तो family could distribute कर लेगी. Now here is the problem. What happens is people will tell you that my father died and the property got transferred to my mother. We did not have a problem. Your mother did not have a problem because your mother did not sell. So what happens in case of a man's death and the property being transferred to his wife, she will not have a problem. My mother will not have a problem in having that property. But when my mother wants to sell, the buyer or the buyer's bank will say, how did you get it? So she will say, oh, my husband gave it to me. So हमको proof दिखाओ. तो handwritten will है, ये नहीं चलेगा, आप जाके probate लेके आओ. Then she will have to get a probate. So that is the process. The society will never throw out. You know, my parents have lived in the same flat for 35 years. Everybody knows my father had only one wife. So no, obviously, so they transfer it. But बेचने के time problem होता है. Therefore, it is necessary to have a notarized bill.
Okay. Suppose there was not a bill. You said about a probate. Now, a probate is what and where it is obtained from?
A probate is obtained from the court saying this is Subra's will. Subra has died and Subra has given this to his wife. तो मेरा एक bill है, वो bill में notarized हुआ है, वो देख के court probate देता है. When the court gives a probate, after that nobody can question my will.
Okay.
So the court will call my wife and say, are you sure you are his only wife? Did you have another wife? Do you have 2-3 children? और आप एक दूसरे बच्चे को तो उल्लू नहीं बना रहे हो. So वो सब पूछेगा. वो पूछने के बाद he'll be convinced कि ये valid है, फिर वो दे देगा. But अगर आपका notarized भी है और registered भी है, because during registration also when I go to the court, then they ask me, ये आप अपनी मर्जी से बना रहे हो ना? वो सब पूछ के फिर वो करता है. So my registered will has the highest validity. Next is the notarized one. If it is neither notarized nor registered, then थोड़ा hassle हो सकता है.
Okay. One more thing is any inherited property or money or wealth, is it taxable?
No, as of now नहीं है. But अगर the rate at which this government is going, जल्दी आ जाएगा tax.
Okay.
But as of today नहीं है.
Okay. One more question is that what will happen if there is no will and it is a joint family, or there is a joint business, or there is a big family and the spouse is not available?
Spouse is not available, मतलब spouse has also died.
Died, हाँ.
हाँ, फिर तो it will go to the children. But family में अगर will नहीं है, तो business interest will go as per the business rules. So if 4 or 5 brothers are doing business together and it's a big business, there will at least be a partnership firm. It won't be 5 corporate. Partnership firm will have its own rules. कि एक आदमी मर गया तो उसके बच्चों को इतना देंगे. Especially if it's a family business, they will be very clear कि उसका बेटा अगर 18 साल का हो गया तो बेटा को देंगे, नहीं तो we will hold it as a trustee till the son becomes 18. After that we will give it to him. We will pay them a lump sum. सब तो rules उनके partnership form में होगा. So that will be applicable.
So to provide clarity, a will is probably which is dealing with your personal belongings rather than a business belonging.
You can give your business also away in your will, because if it's a doctor who is practicing, he can say my practice will belong to my assistant and not to my son. So that can also be given away in the will. You can give your business interest also away in the will.
Okay. There is one more question that has come up. It says that if a person doesn't have will of his parents demise, but have property tax papers name on my parents' name, will it work? Will it work for him to sell or claim?
It depends on the buyer, right? If it's an individual buyer, वो cash देके ले रहा है, check देके ले रहा है, वो शायद ले लेगा. But if he is taking a loan, suppose you are buying a property with Axis Bank loan, and you come to me and I tell you ये property ऐसा है, मेरे नाम पे नहीं है, मेरे बाप के नाम पे है, मैंने अभी तक तो ट्रांसफर नहीं करा है, मैं डायरेक्ट आपके नाम पे ट्रांसफर करा देता हूँ. Axis Bank may not agree.
Okay.
So selling it will be a problem. He will have to sell it to somebody who is willing to accept that paper. तो थोड़ा discount में जाएगा वो तो.
Okay. I hope Mr. Anand Krishnan's question also got answered, that there are no tax implications when a wealth is inherited. So there are no laws.
Today, India mein
there are no laws. Okay. One more thing is, suppose a patient is at a terminal illness, and or he is COVID positive, and he thinks that there is a death which is near. So are these conditions, in these conditions also, can he write a will?
Yeah, as long as mind is sound, he can dictate the will. Somebody can write down, he can sign.
So if suppose the patient is in a hospital under COVID and people are not attending him, but doctor certifies that he is sane, he can decide. So he will write a certificate and probably he can write whatever he wants to write, sign it and give it. Will
Yes.
that be okay?
I can type it, I can take it to him, he can sign it in the
Presence of
he can, yeah, two people have to sign as witness, so two people can sign as witness.
Or can be video recorded.
Sorry?
Can be video recorded also?
Can be video recorded, but it is not tested. See, what happens is if it's a simple will, you know, husband and wife, one son, उसको दे दिया, तो dispute नहीं होगा तो अलग बात है. Dispute होगा तो फिर वो video recording सही है क्या, गलत है क्या, court में, it doesn't stand so easily in a court. But yeah, video recording can be useful, but it can't be the only evidence.
Okay. So before going out today without a mask, will be still be okay? Matlab, it is still very dangerous, but coming out without a will written in this COVID situation is very difficult.
No, Priyadarshan, it is not funny, the kind of things which have happened. So what happens is husband dies on a Sunday, husband and wife both admitted to hospital with COVID, husband dies on a Sunday, everything is joined with his wife, no problem, nominee nahi hai, तो ठीक है ना, joined है, क्या problem है? Next Saturday wife dies. So husband and wife both dead, assets में nominee nahi hai. These things happen. That's why I'm saying, even if it's if it is a husband's money, husband's name should be first, wife's name should be second. If it's a wife's money, her name should be first, husband should be second. Either or survivor, there should still be a nominee. Even for joint property, there should be a nominee, because if husband and wife die, at least it will go to the child. Okay. Because normally what happens is when you're sitting with your insurance agent or your mutual fund agent, you बोलेगा सर नहीं चाहिए nominee क्या है, उसको time लगता है ना, उसको बोलेगा नहीं सर कर दो आप, कोई problem नहीं. Don't listen to that advisor. You insist that every asset of yours. एक exercise I want all doctors to do. This is a Sunday, but before next Sunday, do an exercise. आपके पास जो भी assets है उसका list बनाओ और सब में nomination है कि नहीं देखो. जब 22-23 साल का लड़का होता है वो नॉमिनी अपनी माँ को बना देता है. मदर में डायरी में द डॉक्टर में नाउ भी 60 years of age, बट ही में फॉरगॉटन कि उसके पीएफ में नौकरी करते समय जो बनाया उसकी माँ को बनाया था. माँ को मर के 10 साल हो गए हैं तो उसने नॉमिनी चेंज ही नहीं किया. सो व्हेन ही डाइज हिज वाइफ विल नॉट गेट इट. इट विल बी अ बिग हैसल.
Okay, that's fine. One more thing, today is a very digital age, and lockdown has seen insurgence of a lot of digital, plus lockdown has made us not to be physically present many places, and today this virtual seminar is a testimony to it. Can a will be written on a mail?
Avoidable.
Can
print करके courier करो, साइन करो, विटनेस करो. विटनेस आप वीडियो में कैसे विटनेस करो?
On a mail, can it be on a mail? That is what I'm asking.
Very doubtful. Very doubtful. The mail, though, how will you know? Priyadarshan, I can open an account, priyadarshansoni@gmail.com. क्या लगता है वो खोलने को? I can open an email in your name. So maybe if it's an official mail,
it's an official mail, suppose.
You are an employee of Google, you are an employee of Facebook or your company, then वो company का mail ID आया, तो बहुत doubtful लगता है, because उसमें witness कहाँ से होगा?
Okay.
तो बिल आप बना के अपना ईमेल में भेज सकते हो लॉयर के पास. लॉयर will take a print out. He'll get 2 witnesses to sign it. He will get the notarization done. Then it will be valid. But
okay. One more thing is, you already talked about tax not being there, but if suppose a property or something is business or some aspect is passed on as a goodwill to the heir, will the liability also pass?
Yes. So if I have a house and I have a HDFC bank loan against that or HDFC loan against that, when I take the property, the loan also comes to me.
Okay. So there are some indemnity policies available nowadays. Suppose I have a rent and I have a house which has been taken on a loan, home loan.
Correct.
So is it good to have an indemnity policy also along with as a risk mitigation?
No, you should buy a policy independently and make your wife the nominee. And then the wife can decide whether to repay, because there's no point in saying that money will be paid directly to them, because then those policies are normally more expensive. So the best policy to buy is a term policy and making the wife the nominee and telling the wife कि 2 crore रुपए आने वाला है, उसमें से 25 लाख बैंक का चुका.
Okay.
Don't make a policy and give it to the bank. Make the policy, give it to your wife and explain to your wife why you have a 2 crore policy. ये 25 लाख ये लोन चुकाने के लिए, 5 लाख ये कार का लोन चुकाने के लिए, बाकी ये बच्चे का फीस है, ये वो एक्सप्लेन करो. Because a lot of people say, मेरे wife is protected because I've got term insurance. That is not enough. That is one portion. Explaining to her why you have that insurance, what she should do with that. Like for example, I don't have insurance. I passed that insurance are necessary. But if you're 35 years of age, you should have an insurance and your wife should know what to do with that insurance money. Both are necessary. Just having insurance is not enough. So tell her कि भाई मैं 25 लाख रुपया HDFC को चुका दूँ और जिससे भी लोन लिया वो चुका दूँ.
So it is better to take a very good term plan.
Yes.
And which will come very economical also as compared to other tools.
Don't take an indemnity plan; it's more expensive.
Right.
And suppose you take a 20-year loan, he will give you a 20-year indemnity plan. And if you repay the loan in 7 years, बाकी 13 साल का प्रीमियम तो वेस्ट हो गया.
Okay.
Because वो one single premium first year में ले लेता पूरा पैसा.
Agreed.
So वो सब नहीं करने का, सीधा साधा टर्म इंश्योरेंस लेने का और जिसको जो भी नॉमिनी है उसको समझा देने का. See what happens when a young boy buys a house, if he's 28 years of age and he buys a house, sometimes his mother gives guarantee. If his mother is employed, she gives guarantee. Then you should make the mother the nominee. Wife should be a nominee also, but mother should also be a nominee because in case something happens to the boy, the mother will also have to repay because she's a guarantor. So कभी-कभी nominee term insurance में nominee could be the mother also for a young person. For a 30-year-old, he may need 2 policies, one with 50 lakhs with his mother and one with 2 crores with his wife. So कभी भी वो भी जरूरत पड़ता है.
Right. One more question is there. Suppose in case of mutual fund being there with somebody and it is transferred to the nominee, will the units be transferred or will it be redeemed?
To the nomination, to the nominee, it will be, see if it is either or survivor. So I am the first holder, my wife is the second holder and I have a nominee. Then to my wife, it will be transferred. It will not be redeemed. But to the nominee, I think it will be redeemed.
To the nominee, it is redeemed.
To the nominee, it will be redeemed. Nominee के नाम पे direct transfer नहीं होगा.
Okay.
But so, that I'm not very sure that you'll have to check.
Right. But okay, most of the questions get answered and there is a lot of clarity. There's only one thing: which type of lawyer to approach for will writing?
See, I would always suggest that if you have a financial planner, somebody who is giving you advice on mutual funds, etc., उसके साथ पहले आप बैठ के देख लो किसको नॉमिनेशन करना चाहिए. Because lawyer आपको कुछ पूछेगा नहीं. You have to go and tell the lawyer मेरा ये कर दो. The lawyer will not ask. I mean, it's a simple question, right? When I went to make my will, my lawyer did not even ask, should I give some money to my mother? वो पूछा ही नहीं. वो पूछा अच्छा you have a wife, you have a daughter, ऐसा bill बना दो. So lawyer कभी-कभी application of mind करेगा ही नहीं. Whereas a person who goes there knows ना क्या है. Suppose you've got a younger brother who is not earning, or his younger brother has died and he's paying. Suppose I'm paying the fees of my younger brother's children. Then I need to provide for that also in my will, na? Because what happens if my wife doesn't provide? So I have to understand. So best is to go to your chartered accountant or to your financial planner and understand by kiske liye sab banane. Like I have a friend who has provided for some 10 lakhs for his history teacher because he pays for her expenses. So he says, यार मैं मर गया तो एटलीस्ट वो टीचर को 10 लाख मिले जो एफडी में रख के वो कुछ खाए. So he says, I'm sure my wife will give. It's not a problem. But मैंने will में लिख दिया है कि ये इसको इतना पैसा देना चाहिए. So that only you know, your chartered accountant knows, your wife knows, and your certified financial planner or somebody he knows. So उसके साथ बैठ के आप rough बना के, then you go to a lawyer. Lawyer who is practicing in the home court. Normally, these are lawyers who practice in divorce laws and all those things, all home matters they do. And he'll tell you, हाँ भाई मैं ये काम करता हूँ. बहुत से मिल जाएंगे आपको. कोई भी आप नोटरी किसी को पकड़ोगे तो बोलेगा हाँ ये वकील करता है, ये वकील नहीं करता. So you go to that lawyer, get it done, get it nominated, get it done. Go with your wife. You should also make a will. She should also make a will. Get it witnessed. Get it notarized. keep a copy with whomever you want. If it's your children, explain to your children what you have written in that. Tell your children where a copy of that is kept. If you don't want your children to know about it, then tell your brother, sister, somebody should know na, कि will बना के उधर रखा है. Because if both husband and wife die, then if I and my wife die and my daughter doesn't know about the will, my daughter knows where a copy of the will is in the house. Because there's no point in making it and the बाद में पता चला कि 10 साल बाद ढूंढते ढूंढते कुछ मिला. That should not happen. So they should also know. So if it is very clear कि सीधा साधा will है, husband and wife, 2 children, you're giving half, there is no dispute, no nothing, तो उनके सामने बैठो, बनाओ, explain करो और copy रखो जगह.
Right.
But if it is something which you don't want to tell them, then leave it with your lawyer or your brother or your business partner, whomever you can trust.
Okay.
Copy.
Right, sir. Sir, thank you very much for providing a lot of clarity on how not only we should plan for our retirement, but definitely for a successful succession after we are not there. So thank you very much for all the audiences also who have definitely been patiently, there with us for all these 6 sessions and this 7th session also. And I thank you, sir, for making your presence felt and giving us a great clarity on how the inheritance can be planned.
Most important thing is push them to writing the will.
Okay.
थाली बजाने का, खाना खाने का, घर जाने का, बोलने का बहुत अच्छा lecture था. Is no use unless you write your will. Absolutely. Whoever it is, whether it is Priyadarshan Soni, your friends, your colleagues, your doctors. Nice to hear. मैंने खाली आपको जगाया है. अभी जब जागो तब सवेरे.
So I just want to like to ask for people who really are interested in doing it immediately, how can they reach you? Through a blog? Is it?
Yeah, you can read my blog, you can write to me and all that. But मैं कुछ काम नहीं करता. You will have to go to a lawyer to write the will.
Acha, lawyer to write a will. Okay. For guidance, I was asking for guidance.
You have to go to a lawyer, but yeah, you can write email to me or write on my blog. Send me a message on my blog. I'm on Twitter, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook. Right. This is my name even on Facebook, so I'm there. Right. Okay, chalo.
Thank you very much. And yeah, so friends, next session would be the last session, and which will be held on 18th of this month. Let's see, the agenda is there already there with you, and I hope to see you at the final session. This is not the end. It probably might continue after these 8 sessions are over. So thank you very much for being there. Bye.